Welcome to the Trading Sliders Podcast. Here we go, episode number 51 of the Trading Sliders Podcast. How's everybody doing out there? I'm Bobby Puckey. Here with me in studio is Kurt the Flash Bennett. What's going on, Flash?
Not much, Bobby. What about you?
Trying to recover.
Oh, yeah. We had a good weekend.
Yeah, we the week that never ended.
Yeah.
It's what it felt like. But yeah, two good race trips for us. But it was just a busy week.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes that people don't know what goes on, and we bring you this each and every week. But there was Tuesday. We was on the road from Tuesday till about 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just kind of the way it is sometimes.
Well, you was on a little more. I had a couple detours I had to take. But
yeah. Yeah, but we made it happen.
Yeah.
We always come through. This week's guest, Drake York, the face of USAC, the USAC pit reporter that you see on TV every night of the week, traveling the road, beating up and down the road. 21-year-old kid, living like a rock star, living his dream.
Yeah.
Actually living a lot of our dreams.
Oh, yeah.
You're just hanging out the racetrack.
Go to the racetrack every night.
Yeah, but Drake York, this week's guest. I had a fun interview with Drake last week, when one of the few off weeks that he had. Now that he's back on the road and about ready to head overseas and do all kinds of stuff. The season's winding down for some, and then for others like Drake, it's just getting started.
Yeah.
So, this week's sponsors, Diesel Boys LLC. We say this each and every week. Please take care of the people that take care of us. So if you have any diesel truck work that needs to be done, diesel deletes, injectors fixed, pumps turned up, pumps turned down, whatever you need, reach out to Brandon Hooker and Diesel Boys at Diesel Boys LLC. Our deep dives being brought to you each and every week by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. If you have any automotive clutch needs, semi-trucks, pull-in trucks, Ford Fiesta, Camaro, it doesn't matter. The guys at Kentucky Clutch and Performance can get it taken care of. And 9 times out of 10, if it's a broken, busted up tractor clutch nobody in America has, I'm the lucky guy that gets to somehow figure out how to make that work.
Yep.
So reach out to the guys at Kentucky Clutch and Performance. Our slider of the week being brought to you each and every week by Walt at Speed Decals. This week's slider of the week, not many people got to see it because they left early, but we're going to talk about it.
Right.
But the slider of the week being brought to you each and every week from a continuous sponsor since day one, Walt at Speed Decals. Crash of the week brought to you by D.O. Handyman and Remodeling. If you need any type of remodeling work done around the house, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it could be as simple as fixing a bathroom sink to putting windows in, doing trim, fixing your deck.
Yeah.
Weather's nice, so if you need any type of handyman remodeling work done around the house, reach out to our good friend David at D.O. Handyman Remodeling, 812-989-5002. Our racetrack spotlight being brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering. If you need any type of catering event, none too big, none too small.
Yeah.
None too big unless you've got like thousands of people.
Yeah.
We're not at that point yet, but none too big, none too small. Reach out to JT's Trackside Catering. I know it's coming up. We got the Halloween 200.
Yeah.
We've got the Jackson 100. There's all kinds of weekend events coming up. It doesn't even have to just be a race team.
Right.
If you and your family are going to Brownstown for the weekend, you're like, you know what? I don't want to cook all weekend. Reach out to JT, Jeremy Thomas at JT's Trackside Catering. He'll get you taken care of. Actually, he's probably going to kill me for saying this because he just told me like the next 6 weeks he's like booked out.
Yeah.
But still, if you're going to Brownstown, he's coming too. So reach out. He might be able to get you taken care of.
Well, the good thing about being booked out, that and your stuff's good. I was on Facebook and I seen a bunch of the Lucas guys where he, I think it was Lucas guys that did it. That was talking about it, and I had about 6 of them on there talking about how great the food was.
Well, here's the thing. When you grow up in the South End,
oh yeah,
and you're a little chubby like him and I,
yeah,
there's 2 things you know how to do: cook and eat.
Yeah.
So he's good at the cooking part. My fat ass is good at the eating part.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you need any type of catering, reach out to JT's Trackside Catering. All right, got through all of it under 5 minutes again.
Yeah.
Getting better at this.
Yeah.
News of the week: some shakeup in the late model world. Like we talked about a few weeks ago in the sprint car world, there's going to be some comers and goers and some movers and shakers.
Yep.
It's that time of year where you start making your plans for next year. So we're gonna get into that. USAC had a double down weekend in the Hoosier State. 2 phenomenal races. We're going to talk about that. Northern All-Star crowns a modified and late model champion. Our weekend race trips that scattered us from central Indiana to southeastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
A few hundred miles again.
Yeah.
Past guest updates. East Tennessee doing what East Tennessee does. We had cops called to the victory lane.
Yeah.
All kinds of craziness going on national TV. So you guys hear our racetrack stories, and sometimes people are like, hey, you may exaggerate a little bit. Well,
No,
we got proof.
Yeah, you can go back and watch that.
Yeah, we got proof. And fans leaving just a little bit too much early after the main show, you actually miss the show.
Yeah.
So we'll get into all that on this week's episode. First and foremost, we're going to start with Mike Marlar is leaving Skyline Motorsports. This has kind of been rumored for about 3 months. One thing I'm learning in the racing world, Flash.
Yeah.
If there's smoke,
There's usually fire.
there's usually fire.
Yeah.
It may be a small grease fire.
Yeah.
It may be a whole forest.
Yep.
But if there's smoke, there's fire. So Mike Marlar going back and teaming back up with Delk. He raced for Delk for about 3 or 4 years, and then Delk decided he was going to retire.
Yeah.
But it kind of works better for Marlar because he can race out of his shop.
Yeah.
Which he still races at his shop now with Skyline, but a lot of this stuff is in Iowa. He's got to go back and forth, so just makes sense for both parties to.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt Marlar any.
No, I think Mike will be okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of Marlar, Cameron, congratulations on the track record and the win at last week's racetrack spotlight, Wartburg.
Yeah.
Cameron picked up the win. So hey, Marlar's had a good weekend.
Oh yeah.
Skylar picked up 3,500 win on Friday and 2,500 win last night.
Yeah.
At Richmond and Thunder Mountain.
Thunder Mountain, yeah.
That's not on the show notes. That's just off the top of my head when we say Marlar.
Yeah.
So we usually don't do this on the show when we talk about ride swapping and stuff, but there is some rumor mills out there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about this one just because if it doesn't happen now, it needs to happen soon.
Yeah.
But rumor from the Midwest is Dallin Murdy. For you guys that's not listened to the show since we started,
Yeah.
you may not know who Dallin Murdy is, but Dallin Murdy looks like he's going to be getting a shot. What's that word? Where you don't mean it's not for sure. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Dallin Murdy will be getting a shot in the Skyline Motorsports car.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome if he does. Because
that
kid is awesome. If you haven't never watched anything from, the Midwest over there where he races at, his name's in every single race.
Yeah. Dallin Murdy, 21 years old, over 250 A mains.
Yeah.
Wins.
Yeah.
Not competed. Wins. Victories.
Right.
Let me restate that. Victories. The kid, I think it was 3 years ago, was in pursuit of 50 wins in a year. Got cut short at 47.
Yeah.
Because he had some rainouts. So I think we should just go ahead and give it to him. But if people think RTJ and Bobby Pierce are aggressive and they say, well, Dylan Thornton's going to be the next one.
Yeah.
I got news for you. Dallin Murdy will turn some heads.
Yeah. Definitely.
When we were BSing at the racetrack last night, and Trent Young and I were talking about it, and he said, "Really, Dallin Murdy's getting a shot?" And I said, "Well, that's what I heard. I don't want to quote anybody." I said, but did have some people reach out that kind of close to the situation.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and he said, "Well, that's going to change the late model game."
Yeah.
So,
it will be a game changer.
Yeah, it will be a game changer. Yeah. So, so game changer Dallin Murdy looks like he's going to get a shot. It's really, and also sticking at the rumor mill real quick. Sheldon Hodenshaw, it looks like he's going to go to the KCP Racing, the 18 car that Gio Selby was in. It looks like that's just about a done deal.
Right.
Like so done where Hodenshaw's crew is spotted leaving the building the other night where he's working on stuff for next year. So that, and one more local little rumor mill. He picked up the win last night at Lawrenceburg, and he's a 2-time back-to-back Northern All-Star Series champion. Josh Rice, congratulations on that. Looks like Josh Rice may be doing some national racing next year.
Yeah.
News hasn't broke quite yet, but looks like Josh Rice may hit a national tour.
Yeah.
So another ground pounder, throttle dumper coming on the late model tour, but he's not going to surprise everybody like Dallin Murdy because he's already...
we already know he's a badass.
Yeah, his resume in the last few years kind of spoke for itself.
Yeah.
But Northern All-Stars crowned their championship last night at Lawrenceburg. Like I say, congratulations to Josh Rice. And congratulations to Nick Snell picking up the Northern All-Star Modified Series champion over Ben Harmon. I think Ben ran second in the Northern All-Star Modified points. It was like less than 10 points.
Yeah,
so it was pretty
different. So
yeah, pretty close. I think
coming down to the end of the year, that's pretty good.
Yeah, especially a lot of like we're coming down to the end of the year on our stuff too. You know, there's a couple rainouts here and there, and sometimes it just seems like stuff don't work in your favor. You know, like on Ben's point. The tracks that he's really good at, kind of got lost in the rainout shuffle.
Yep.
And, you know, not that he struggled. He ran third last night at Lawrenceburg, but that's just not his expertise.
He finished in front of the guy he needed to finish in front of. It just wasn't far enough.
Yeah, so but that's just not his expertise.
Right.
But so Northern All-Stars took care of their stuff. We do kind of a past guest update. We're not going to run through everybody, but I want to give a shout out to Cole Followay. Picking up feature win number 21, current UMP national points leader. Looks like I think Cole's just going to do what you got to do when it's time to win points. The guy running
win every race.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's kind of what Cole does, though.
Yeah, that works. But I was saying he's going to go to wherever. Lefford.
Yeah, he's gonna go where Lefford is. So
yeah, he's not gonna let Lefford get any bonus points.
Right.
So that's what I was trying to say. But
I knew what you meant.
But yeah, you threw me off because he's just gonna win every race. So.
Yeah.
We'll get started with the fiasco that was East Tennessee. Flo Night in America, Volunteer Speedway, 41 super late models, 131 race cars on 4 divisions on a Thursday night.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But sometimes when you get south of the Ohio River, as we spoke before, things slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
The racing does not slow down. The aftermath, the crash cleanup.
Yeah.
If you didn't go back and listen to our Volunteer Speedway episode when we were there, Jim, the record driver, they have not hired nobody else.
Yeah.
It's still just Jim.
Same Jim.
It's just him. Yeah. It's just Jim doing the work.
Yeah.
But
if he's got to go get gas at the gas station, he's going to be gone to the gas station.
He's going to be gone to the gas station. And one thing cool about Volunteer, like Vic Hill's the mayor.
Yeah.
Vic Hill just takes care of the racetrack. But sometimes when you got one guy that's in charge of everything, it kind of just causes a little bit of issues occasionally. But super race, we'll start with the late model feature. The Jonathan Davenport won over Hudson O'Neill, Cameron Marler. Davenport started 4th, took the lead. McDowell was running good, but I think McDowell's tire sealed up or something. He started fading.
Yep.
I was hoping McDowell won the Scott Bloomquist Memorial. Since
that would have been really cool.
Since he's still the Team Zero and still racing down the same shop. So.
Right.
But yes, Hudson started 7th. Hudson had a shot at him, but when he did, Cameron Marler threw a bomb on Hudson. Yeah. Hudson made a perfect run, and he was about ready to put himself in position to throw a slider on JD. Yeah. And Cameron Marler was like, "Hey, watch this."
Yeah.
But you can't blame Cameron. I mean,
no.
It's $7,000 difference between second and third. So
I think if Cameron would have got up there too, he might have thrown a bomb on.
Superman would have had his cape tugged on a little bit.
A little bit anyway.
Yeah, but
it was a good race. I mean, they were 3 wide with 2-3 to go till Superman got around that lap car. Once he got around him, it was over. But
Hudson showed him his nose, and Superman was like, "All right, it's time to go."
Yeah, I better get back up on the. Get back onto one of the wheels. See what happens here.
But one thing about Volunteer, man, it always races good. Vic Hill has done all the joking and hard time that we give Vic.
Yeah.
it's out of love because he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Because volunteer has not always been racing. It's always been fast.
It's been racier this year than I've ever seen.
Yeah, but it's
so.
Hats off to Vic. He's really made that place what it should be.
Yeah.
Because it's always been fast. It's badass. It's beautiful scenery. Everything about it is good, but the racing hasn't always been that good.
Yeah.
This year it's been top of the line. But now we're going to talk about our trips to East Tennessee, and we're glad you guys got to see it. We're going to start off with the D.O. Handyman Crash of the Week. The D.O. Handyman Crash of the Week came in the late model B main number 2 when Galvin Cowan got used up coming off the corner, got crisscrossed got used up coming off 4.
Yeah.
Got crisscrossed
Down the
and
straight.
spun in turn 1, and Kyle Strickler smokes him, flips over, gets upside down. So, takes Jim a few minutes to get the car turned over.
Yeah.
Jim gets the car turned over. While all this is going on, we had a street stock race that 2 dudes just dogfighted the race before, the street stock feature. Well, we're under a 20-minute red flag.
Yeah.
That's being graceful.
Yeah.
Under a 20-minute red flag. And Randy Weaver goes, we got something going on at the scales. News in. So the leader's been disqualified. Second place is the winner now. So, Ben Shelton and Randy Weaver bounce back and forth off each other, and they're just kind of poking fun, just talking, all right, what's the rules? One guy's got a rule sheet, and he's just... Then all of a sudden, cops come in to play. Apparently, they disqualified the winner.
Yeah.
Pushed him off the scales. Now, this is all hearsay, but it's kind of verified on TV.
Yeah.
So, they push him off the scales. They get the second place guy. There, he's taking his pictures. The one that got disqualified calls the police and says, I've been robbed.
Yeah.
Where you been robbed at? Volunteer Speedway. Police come up in Victory Lane.
It's like 5 cop
Yeah,
cars showing
they're
up.
like, what's going on? Meanwhile, they're still trying to get Kyle Strickler's upside down with fuel just pouring on him. The car's upside down. A mess is going on.
Yeah.
So, cop comes to Victory Lane. Video camera shows down there. Oh boy, got disqualified. He's got the rule book out. Pointing to the tech man, pointing to Victory Lane. Evidently, the cop reads over the rule book. Agrees with the old boy from South Carolina that got robbed.
Yeah.
Cop talked to the track official, made the guy back off the Victory Lane, and awarded the original guy the feature win. So
cops overrule
the tech man.
Yeah.
So Flash, if we got any issues on our final race, we're calling the cops.
That's right.
You have no say so in it.
That's
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Because the cops overrule the tech man.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing, so they get Strickler turned over.
Yeah.
Blue lights everywhere. And then I love Randy Weaver. I think Randy Weaver needs to be on every broadcast ever. Randy Weaver goes, by the time they get this mess cleaned up, we might figure out who won the damn race before us. Cops everywhere. And then here goes Ben Shelton. I'm on record for saying I'm not a huge fan of Ben Shelton.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah.
I like Dustin Jarrett better.
Yeah.
But Ben does do good at his job. There's some behind the scenes stuff I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
But did have the line of the night.
Yeah.
Because Weaver goes, well, Strickler was sitting upside down the car for 20 minutes, so he's just gathering his wits before he gets out.
Yeah.
Ben Shelton said, well, I see with all those blue lights, he's probably having a flashback back to Florence.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go to jail.
The north-south, yeah.
So much of everything going on in turn 1 and 2. And then, so they're going back racing, and the cop cars are still sitting at the entrance of the pit road.
Yeah.
Lights going everywhere. And Randy Weaver goes, well, Vic's just going to leave these cops down here in 1 and 2 so these guys play nice and get on through the corner.
Yeah.
And we get this B main over. But it's just so funny.
Yeah,
like,
it was pretty good, though.
yeah, sometimes you it's almost like you make this stuff up.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And we've seen tons of that stuff. Now, I've never seen cops called I have seen cops called the victory lane.
Yeah.
That was to break up a fight or get a whole group of race crew off the bus. I have seen stuff like that. But
The funny part was they had the cops reading the rule book.
well, yeah, I mean,
They brought the rule book to him.
well, oh boy, figured he got robbed. They robbed him $1,000.
Yeah.
And the cops looking at the rule book is like, yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Back that car up. Get off that. This is his victory lane. But yeah, so. And the funniest thing about the whole thing is, you know, Ben Shelton is the biggest time strickler.
Oh yeah.
Like,
he was having panic attacks.
oh
dude.
yeah. He's like, man, we're running behind. And you hear Vic in the background, you know, shut up, we're good. You guys took too long to qualify. So, but Vic Hill, Ray Cook put on an amazing event. 131 cars on a Thursday night.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good deal. But so shout out to Rod Tucker, who's got, you know, overturned. He was a street stock winner.
Yeah.
He did get paid. And Tyler Meadows had the rule book, and it cost him.
Yeah.
Because he showed the rule book to the tech official who overturned it. But that same rule book was still laying there, and Sheriff Jim Bob said, "Nope, we're roll Rod up in victory lane." So that's how Thursday night went.
Yeah.
So had a bunch of fun watching that. Then Friday, Flash and I and our buddy Chuck, who has been racing deprived. For a minute, I just thought he quit watching racing, but he decided to make the trip with us.
I think I burned him out over the years, though. I mean, you know,
that's doable.
Me and him's worked on cars since we were 6 years old. He was my only crew. He was our only crew for probably 10, 12 years at least.
Yeah, he's like...
It was just him. We had 3 cars, so he's a crew guy on 3 cars while we're out on the racetrack. So.
Yeah, but Chuck went with us. Had a good time. 34 sprint cars, 28 D2 midgets. First off, we've said this, it seems like 100 times. Circle City Raceway is a hidden gem. I never ever would have thought a bunch of pavement guys and girls would just say, you know what, we're going to figure out how to prep a racetrack, we're going to figure out how to run a racetrack, we're going to figure out how to make the racetrack nice and do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they went above and beyond.
Yeah, everybody, you know, who sits in the stands always, I would do this, I would do this. The guys at Circle City Raceway do a excellent job. Track prep, I don't know who's in charge of track prep.
Yeah.
But whoever it is, thank you. I'm gonna reach out and find out who's doing the track prep there, because I'm gonna I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. He's gonna be an interview one week.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because he knows how much water to put on, when to leave it alone, when to flip it over. I mean, we had a curve that was, I don't want to exaggerate, but 16 to 20 inches.
I would say it was 16 at least.
Yeah, I mean, it was covering the whole right rear of the midget tire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
I mean, absolute slick from top to 3/4 way up with a curve. A heavy fluff that we're going to find out here in a second. That
comes into play. Yeah.
So racetrack was excellent. Sprint car feature, Justin Grant doing Justin Grant things, picks up feature win over Mitchell Mose and Briggs Danner. Gunnar Setzer, kid out of Columbus, Indiana, absolute throttle dumper. I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. The next big thing in open wheel racing out of the state of Indiana is going to be Gunnar Setzer.
Yeah.
This kid can absolutely drive the wheels off the race car. Top got a little treacherous, and he decided to almost run the diamond line, and when he did, he started scrubbing off so much speed, and at that same time, Grant started running the 4 and the fluff and just, pounding the curb coming off. Like, Grant would go in 4 and the fluff, but he wouldn't turn down the slick. He'd go 4 and the fluff and just drive to the curb and wheelie up. Justin Grant is a badass.
Oh, yeah.
He is. I mean, driving with a broken foot. I seen where he got the cast off last night at Hobstock. His first time he got his cast off. So had his cast on Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know if he took it off or they took it off, Usually you don't have doctor's appointments on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But he had his foot wrapped, and he had a racing shoe that they modified. It's got the same type thing on the bottom.
For the brake.
Yeah, bolted it or riveted or whatever
Right.
they did. But yeah, so Justin Grant took the win. Absolute superb racetrack. You can't say nothing. When you thought that was good, that was a hell of... It took 3 or 4 starts to get going because the curb was so gnarly.
Yeah.
But once the guys figured it out, it was on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
It wasn't wrecks. It was just shit breaking because they were just pounding the cushion.
Yeah.
But once they got it figured out, it was on. And everybody got up and left when the race was over. There's probably 4,000 to 5,000 people there.
Yeah.
After the sprint car race, everybody hit the road. I don't know why. It was fairly early.
Yeah, and it was nice out too.
Nice out. But they hit the road, and there's about 200 of us left. And we seen an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah.
This week's Slider of the Week being brought to you by Speed Decals. Unbelievable. Jacob Boxwell, 18th to 1st in the D2 midget race. 4 above the fluff. Cowboy up.
Yeah.
Just absolutely putting on a show.
That's probably one of the best midget races I've seen that wasn't in the Chili Bowl.
Yes. Here's the thing. He had to have a help. There was 2 cautions that were timely.
Right, yeah.
But still, everybody in the crowd, and it wasn't like he won it on the last lap.
No.
He took the lead with 4 to go, and stayed up there.
Yeah.
He didn't
I was hoping he didn't go down. I was hoping he'd at least stay up there.
Yeah. So he took the lead and, just stayed up there. Got a standing ovation from the couple hundred of us that was left.
Yeah.
Absolute dry. It's one of the most incredible things I've seen all year.
Oh, yeah.
Because the curve was so big.
Yeah.
And, he said, I was sitting there in staging and watching the sprint car feature on the big board. Another cool thing about Circle City.
Yeah.
Got a backstretch video board where you can watch the races.
And watch the replays.
Yeah. But he said, it didn't look that bad. And when they pushed us off, I rode in there and the car didn't bottom out. I said, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And he went for it.
Yeah.
So great race. And then Saturday, we make our trip down to Rockcastle Speedway for the Sandy Adams Memorial. $3,500 to win for the Cumberland Plateau Open Modified Series. And absolute dogfight for the win. Cumberland Plateau Race of the Year.
Yeah.
This is why you don't look on my race pass and say, well, first and second, didn't pass nobody.
Yeah.
It's a boring race. No. Absolute not.
Yeah.
Brian Barber and Trent Young. So, they were fighting to the death of who's going to take over the 10.
Yeah.
No, I want number 10. No, I want number 10. Just absolutely went at it. And Brian Barber is one of those guys that he went out and chased the American Modified Series. He did all the racing in Illinois.
Yeah.
And as Butch said, his dad, he knows what he's like. He knows what he's good at, and that's what we're going to do. And when Brian Barber is excited to go to the racetrack, it usually spells for...
it's a bad day for the rest of the guys.
Yeah, it's a bad day for everybody else. But Barber's running the cushion, banging the cushion, comes off the cushion. Young, for the first 12 laps, they ran side by side.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't touch. Side by side.
It was an awesome race.
It was a great race.
Yeah.
Hats off to Dwayne and them at Rockcastle, too, because the track's been very abrasive this year.
Yeah.
It's tore up a bunch of tires. And everybody who came across the scales last night, tires looked good. Nothing, they wasn't abrasive. And the racetrack was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys go back and check out the race day report video that we put out, straightaways are long, paperclip, red clay. It's got just enough banking, not too much banking. But yeah, Dwayne did a little track reshape. And we thought it had a tabletop on it, but when we went out there, just the way the guardrail is, looking at the guardrail, you're like, it's got a flat spot on the top. But the racetrack was actually really, really good. So
and this place, every single person there is the nicest person you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
All the way down to the concession stands, to in the booth. wherever. It's an awesome place. We need to get some more people showing up out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of great people that we've worked with over the years, and then there's some that's quite frankly not so great.
Yeah.
But Dwayne Harris and his wife Michelle and the whole staff, their son, on my end, he runs my race. So most places we go, we're all in the same booth together.
Right.
Well, this here scoring's to the right, and we're nicest press box you'll ever go in.
Yeah.
I mean, not bathroom, refrigerator, everything you need, all on one level. Super nice. Air conditioned.
Yeah.
I mean, that nicest press box you go in. Only down thing is they don't have a monitor from my race pass over where the announcing side is.
Yeah.
But no big deal. Just hook the laptop up and, so it's not an issue.
Right.
But as far as getting lineups and everything, and shout out to Braden, our boy B, Braden Irvin. Fun to work with. Talking about, like we talk about Drake York living out his dream. Braden, 17-year-old kid that goes to high school and gets to announce races and gets paid every week to announce races.
Yep.
And
he's really good too.
yeah, he's well. Yeah. Funny story, real quick. He messaged me this week and goes, "Hey, I'm a lot better. Don't go back and watch my Schaefer's Oil race I did because I was terrible. I was nervous." And I was telling him, "Man, you're doing fine."
Yeah.
So I showed him a few tricks that I've learned, and he said, "Man, those note cards, that's work. That's badass."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, it does." And, but yeah, he's a good kid, fun to work with. One of the fun guys that you can bounce stuff off of, and but everybody there just absolutely love Rockcastle.
And I had the best walking taco I've ever had in my entire life last night there. So
that's the third person that told me that yesterday.
Yeah.
I did not get the walking taco.
Yeah, you should have got one because I don't even usually eat that kind of stuff, but that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, hold on. One thing I want to say, us on the Trading Sliders podcast, we promote all racing. We talk about what's good for our sport. We don't really talk about what's bad unless we have to. We always want to concentrate on the positive. But shout out to Craig Stykes, modified racer that runs locally at Lake Cumberland Speedway. He's from the Somerset area. He came up to us, Kurt and I, while we were doing the sign-ins, and we talked to him for about 20 minutes. Fan of the show, listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
And we say this all the time. We're trying to promote positivity. And, he said, I wasn't going to come run tonight because I don't have the equipment to run with these guys. He said, but I listened to your show. You guys show and you guys talk about supporting these events or we're not going to have them. So I came down here to support you guys.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. Thank you so much. And he actually had a pretty good run going until they got in a little incident down there in turns 3 and 4. But Craig Stykes, thank you for being a supporter of the Trading Sliders podcast. Thank you for spreading the word. He said he tells everybody about it. He just stumbled onto us a few weeks ago and was listening to every episode. So that's why guys like him is the reason why our listens are going up, and we really appreciate it. So word of the mouth is the best form of advertisement, and thank you. We really appreciate it. So that's bad. That was what our weekend was. Jacob Hall ended up running third behind the 210s, and Sandy Adams Memorial $3,500 win. Brian Barber went back to back. So it was a good weekend. But we're gonna get off here and listen to Drake York, and then come back with our racetrack spotlight and our upcoming events, because we got some pretty cool events coming up this weekend that you may want to check out. It's time for the Trading Sliders Deep Dives presented by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On this week's Trading Sliders Deep Dives, we have the face of USAC. How's that sound? The face of USAC, Drake York. How you doing, Drake?
Well, thank you first for having me. I don't know about the face because it's not a beautiful one. So they could have found somebody better. But no, it's crazy you mentioned that too, because people. I wouldn't say I'm the voice of USAC. That's Brian Holbert. Yeah. Let's be honest. But I've been around for 6 years, and people make me feel old too already in those 6 years.
Yeah, so 21 years old, feeling old.
I know. I hurt my shoulder during sprint week, doing the most mundane thing in the world. It wasn't even anything strenuous I was doing. I was pulling a power cable out of the trailer, and I was just ooh, that didn't feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know what these guys feel like.
I know. And I don't even do anything.
What, you don't say you don't do anything? As soon as as soon as the show comes on, it's your dome right there in front of everybody. So we see you first. So, you are basically the face of USAC. Brian does all the mouth work, but then everybody's got to look at you for the rest of the night. So, How did you actually get into this? How did you? Because you're living a life of a rock star.
Something like that.
He said something like that. So how did you get into this? How did you get lucky enough to, travel 150 nights a year and live out your car on the road? I mean, how did you get lucky to do that?
Oh man, luck definitely factored into it. I guess we really got to go back to my history in racing, which I don't think a lot of people know about. So I'm technically third generation involvement in sprint car and midget racing. So my grandpa owned and raced cars out of Ascot, Manzanita, El Centro, places like that. That kind of gave my dad the bug. He raced pretty much everything you could race out at Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico. So, you name it, bombers, pier stocks. They used to have late models back then at Chico. So he won a late model race and then moved up to sprint cars, won 2 track championships at Chico, bunch of wing races there, ran without the wing a lot in Southern California, and bested the CRA guys one night too, which back then especially was a big deal.
That's no small feat.
No, it definitely wasn't too. And it was like his 6th non-wing race ever, and beat Cruzman out by, I want to say, maybe 2 feet at the start finish line. Rip Williams rounded out the podium, so it wasn't any slouches on the podium that night. And so I was born in 2004, so it was cool I was there for Paris.
God.
I know, sorry.
Oh, man, it make me feel real old.
I know. I'm trying not to, but I'm trying to give you the scope of where I'm coming from. So I've been around it for day one. Like, I'm 21 years old. I think my first race was 6 days old or something like that. So it's been nearly since day one. And then, we would go to Chico every Friday to watch my dad. And, the racing deal always looked cool to me. I did race for a little bit, but, I don't know. It just was one of those things I didn't feel like I was super great at. Like, I could do it forever and be really good at it. And I don't know what stood out to me about announcing, but Troy Henning at Silver Dollar Speedway has a lot to do with that. Troy's helped me out immensely in my career. So I don't know what anybody was thinking. This would have been 2010 maybe. I would play around with my cars and announce the races like every little kid did and still does. But I just thought it would be a great idea. So my parents have known Troy since, they've known Troy and his family forever. So, they dumped me in the booth for a heat race one night, a wing sprint car heat race at Chico. And I don't advise people to go find this on the internet, but there was a massive crash. The first heat race, not even to the flag stand. They are all wadded up and cars are flipping through the infield. And, there's little 5-year-old me screaming my brains out over this melee. So I did that a few times at Chico. That was a lot of fun. Then I went off and did the racing thing for a little bit, and I just wanted to get back into it. So to kind of make a long story short, got hooked up with Lowell Morale and everybody at Cycling Speedway. I was kind of like the kid announcer, so I do the 2 kid divisions.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it was great. I did that for 4.5 years. And then, a lot of fires really was one of the main contributing factors of leaving California. Fortunately, we didn't lose everything like a lot of, really good friends did up the hill in Paradise. But moved out to the Midwest, and I was doing some stuff. I kind of had a show. It's not nearly as professional as yours is.
we are. I've said this 100 times. We're the most unprofessional professionals. It looks good.
It looks great.
But I don't really know. I'm just surprised every week when it comes up.
Perfect. Well, yeah. Anyway, I was doing that, and I moved out to the Midwest, and I still tell everybody this. I had 2 goals when I moved to Indy. Is I wanted to work for USAC and I wanted to do the Indy 500. So hopefully fairly soon, I'm getting close to the second one, I think, hopefully sometime in the near future. But anyways, my parents have known Rob Klepper for a long time too, because he would come down to Paris and work the CRA races for Speed Channel. And so Rob was kind of our contact out here, funny enough, before he was a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So that would have been nice a few years down the line. But USAC was going to go in a different direction for 2020. To kind of explain the best way I can, they were kind of taking the announcer away from the PA booth and putting Rob in the truck. So it kind of sounded like a NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One race, whatever. And so they needed somebody to fill in for the few races, too, that they thought they needed to bring somebody from USAC in. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And then Rob gave me the opportunity, too, to kind of learn production stuff, which I still do a lot of today, like running cables, setting up wireless units. I'm not great at it still, but I still do it. And that was kind of my shoe in with USAC. So That was 2020. My first race was Shamrock Classic, which, funny enough, the last race before COVID. So, yeah.
So you're like, I got my dream job. Oh my God, we're not doing nothing now.
Oh man, just sat around and did nothing but schoolwork because I was still in high school at that point. So, yeah, that's the long and short story how I got here.
Well, first off, I think you're great at what you do.
Thank you.
You're very, very knowledgeable. You're very likable. A lot of guys, I mean, because I'm in the same boat as you, obviously not on your level, but you can go to a lot of racetracks, and when you walk in, they've got their staff, and 90% of the time, everybody is super easy to work with. But then you always get a few guys that are just assholes. I mean, just being nice.
Goes, yeah.
Just tell the truth. But you're likable. Your approach at the racetrack. I've seen you. I talked to you at Lawrenceburg earlier in the year, and I've seen you, just the way you approach your job. It's, first off, you don't look at it as a job. You just approach life, approach racing, and the way that you approach it, you're going to be successful in it because, hell, you're enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, there are some days, don't get me wrong, that do feel like a job, but those, thankfully, are far and few between. And this is kind of what I've always wanted to, like, I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody. Like, I'd much rather be a race car driver. Like, that's super cool and all. But, yeah, I think you said it earlier. It was either, before we hit record or after. Kind of the life of a rock star a little bit, too. Like, I mean, it's super cool, too. And, I'm trying to do as much racing as I can before, like, the real world finally catches up with me. Yeah. I feel like I've done a really good job of outrunning it so far. But, like, yeah, I feel like, too, I just do it because I love it. If it pays really, like, it doesn't matter to me because I'm out going racing. Yeah. Like, that's what matters to me too. And it's funny too, even some of the people I work with, like, they'll ask me about, going to Australia or, doing more IndyCar races or a NASCAR race, or I'm going to the UK here in a few weeks too. Like, why do that all at once? Because it's fun. Like, that's why I do it. Yeah. I like going places, seeing different things. And, that's one thing that USAC's really been enjoyable to work for, is you get to see a lot of different places, meet a lot of different people from a little bit of everywhere. One of the jokes I had one year during Midweek is I feel like I ran into every Aussie in the state of Indiana. It's like, dude, I turn a corner or like go to get chicken tenders at this snack bar. There's another Aussie waiting for me. Like, it was a bit stalkerish in a way, but I enjoy it. And yeah, like I said, you get to meet so many cool people, see so many cool racetracks. Like, man, the way I looked at it is, if I got to check off half the racetracks on my bucket list in my lifetime, like, I was going to be pretty thrilled. And, like, even just seeing the Indy 500 once, obviously, like, I'm down the street now,
you can throw baseball.
Which is so cool to me. Yeah. Like IRP, we were talking about Thursday Night Thunder off air, and, like, man, it's cool. Like, that's right next to my house. Like, I used to ride my bike to IRP after school sometimes. Like, it's just cool to see, where it's gone and stuff like that. Now at Cycling, I never thought I'd, get to see half the things I've seen, and it's really cool. Like I said, never thought I'd get a chance to go to the UK, cover races, or Australia, or done an IndyCar race. Never thought I'd do an IndyCar NASCAR race too. Like, it's just unreal. And, there's a lot of people that make it happen. It's not just me, but yeah, I'm having fun right now too. And my dad and I's philosophy when we were racing, like, the reason he stopped racing is because, it got to the point where it wasn't fun. Well, if this gets to the point where I'm not having fun, like, why do it? But I don't really see that happening too soon. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I know exactly what you mean, because if I was 21 and had this to do all over again, see, all through my 20s, I did everything, scratch, clawed, everything I could to do to race. Looking back on it, I would definitely try to take your route. And main reason, because I'm one of those guys that I love traveling. Like, when I walk into a new racetrack for the first time, I'm like a 10-year-old kid again. Like, I'm gonna go check over here. Are the shades here? How's the look from here? I love that aspect of it. And you guys, 150 nights a year. I mean, half the year you're at a racetrack, and another 2/3 of it you're on the road. So I mean, I know it gets tiring. I mean, I understand that aspect of it, especially, you guys do most of your traveling through the night. So as you get older, you'll want to do others. Like you'd rather like, all right, I'll just go to bed now, and then we'll get up early in the morning and do it. But for now, being 21 years old, hell, just drive all night. It's no big deal.
Oh, it's great now because I don't even drive because I ride with a few buddies that haul the USAC merchandise trailer. So I'll usually just, if we're racing, somewhere that requires a drive through the night, that's like a few hours, I'll usually just get on my laptop and update my notebook and I'll sleep. So like I've got it really good. Like I got it way better than I probably deserve.
And hold on a second. He didn't mean to say that. It's tough on the road.
It is.
USAC needs to pay him more. Everybody, I'm going to help you out here. You're young still. All right, it's tough. Don't tell everybody you got it too good. Then they'll put more work on you.
That's true. That's true. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, you got to do just enough that they need to keep you around, but not too much that they can overwork you. That's just somebody that's been doing this a long time. You cover sprint cars, you cover midgets. Everybody knows the whole Triple Crown deal. You had your own podcast. You did the Outlaw or Non-Wing. What was it called?
Non-Wing Worldwide.
Non-Wing Worldwide. Yes. Yeah, I couldn't think of nothing cool like that. So I was just like, training sliders.
Yeah, we like sliders though.
Yeah. Always. Well, actually, I'll be honest. I reached out to T-Mez because I was kind of wanting to be like, hey, can I borrow your slider die? But he never got back with me, so I took it as a no. So I was just like,
I'm surprised it's not trademarked at this point.
Well, I know. Yeah. So, but you've done all different aspects. It's almost like you've prepared your whole life to make this happen. So what is your goal going forward? Do you want to announce? Do you want to race direct? Do you want to run a series? Or you just want to enjoy life as it happens?
Boy, all those things you listed were awfully scary. I'm really happy doing what I'm doing right now. Like, what I grew up doing was announcing, like at Cycleland, and would do a race occasionally at Chico or Marysville when I was growing up. And then when I came to the Midwest, that was kind of like number one goal. And I did those races with USAC in 2020. Like I felt like I learned a lot quicker, just with, I don't know why, but I felt like I did. And then, I kind of got moved to the pits, as things reshuffled through the years with USAC. And I was just announcing at Petaluma. I'm like, man, this is fun, but I don't know if I could do it 100 times a year. So like, maybe I am happy doing what I'm doing. But to answer your broader question, I don't need to be a millionaire in racing. I would just like to have something comfortable. Like, I don't need yachts or I don't need all that crazy stuff. I just want like a nice house one day. And if that's with USAC, awesome. But what I'm kind of setting my sights on, like I mentioned earlier, is doing the Indy 500 and being a part of IndyCar. I've done this year. This year was the best year so far with IndyCar. Like, with the amount of days working, I did Barber right at the start of May. So, with a lot of those weekends too, they have the Indy Next series with IndyCar. So I did the Indy Next race, did the IndyCar race, did Saturday that weekend too, and that was a lot of fun. Did both days of Indy 500 qualifying for the radio network. Got to interview Robert Schwartzman, who ended up on the pole. That was like, that's like up there of cool things I've done. Never thought I would interview the pole winner just after he won the pole for the greatest race in the world. And then after that, too, they had a doubleheader down in Iowa. So it was interesting. I've never been tornadoed out of practice in anything.
That was pretty weird.
That was pretty weird.
Yeah, I seen the video of that, and I was like, that's a terrible time to do a drill. And then it's like, they got the announcement, and somebody pans out and sees the video. I'm like, oh man, this is bad.
Well, it's really funny too because you really learn what IndyCar drivers have turned Midwestern, because not a lot of them are from out here. Obviously with IndyCar, there's so many countries represented, or even the Americans that are in the series. 9 out of 10 times, really, if ever, they're from like Indianapolis. Like Connor Daly's like the only one. So. I cowered in the media center because I'm still pretty Californian. I'm not clear. I've been here for like 6-7 years now. I'm not very Midwestern, but it was really interesting to learn who was Midwestern because I saw Rick Mears walk past. I'm like, really? You're hiding in here?
Yeah.
And then like Alex Palou walked by, and then like a lot, again, the Indy Next drivers too. A lot of countries were represented there too. Like the whole Indy Next field was in the media center hiding. And then you'd see videos of like McLaughlin and Rossi, and those guys were like, oh, look at that over there.
I'm going to go get a cheeseburger and watch this.
I know. Like it was really interesting because I got to learn which drivers are truly Midwestern and which ones aren't. But that was a lot of fun. So, only time I've ever been tornadoed out of something. Maybe Hobstadt's a few years ago, but I don't think a tornado touched down there, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, well,
but
I've been to Hobstadt. This is no joke. It rained one night after the heat races, and it rained about 3 inches in about 30 minutes.
That's almost a tornado.
It was, I mean, it was almost knee high in the infield, and the whole track looked like a pond. You couldn't see it. So I'm like, I'm leaving, and my buddy Kurt that does the show with us, and he's like, oh, no, I'm not going to leave just yet. I said, well, I'm going to at least run up to Princeton and go to Walmart and get some dry clothes. So Tommy flips the pump on, pumps the water out of the racetrack. By the time I drive to Kyle Cummins' house and come back, they are hot lapping again to race.
Sounds like Hobstad.
Yeah, that is Hobstad. It's just like, okay, we'll race. I mean, once you're there, now I know their grounds get soft and, they do have to cancel sometimes, but once you're there, they're racing.
Yeah, that's what I like about going down to Hobstad. So 9 out of 10 times, I'm not very worried going to Hobstad, which is nice. But, yeah, the IndyCar stuff was fun this year, too. So I really enjoyed that. I would really like to make a career in IndyCar. Like, I really enjoyed working with the radio guys. Like, those guys, they are consummate professionals. Like, they are some of the best in business. Like, Mark Janes has been a great help to me. Nick Yeoman, Alex Wolf, all those guys, too. They do such a great job, too. But like I said, if I can make a living in racing, like I would be more than happy with that.
Yeah, you're happy with whatever it is, huh?
Yeah, I like going racing, but if I had to like pinpoint, I don't try to set like very specific goals. Like the Indy 500, I know that's
that's a pretty good goal.
It's a very specific goal, but like, I mean, I just like racing. So as long as I'm in it, I'm happy.
You talk about Brian being the voice and of USAC, and when Brian got how am I going to say this politically correct? Because I love Tony. But when Brian got the call, let's say it that way. When Brian got the call, I'm a big Brian. I love him. I followed all of his ASCS stuff and everything. And, there's a lot of guys in the Midwest that was like, yeah, I don't really know about this guy. And I said, no, he's totally different than Chet. He's totally different than Pat. Like his style I don't know how to say it without making people upset. His style is professionally funny.
It is.
You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like he has one-liners that's not over the top, and it gets to the point, but it's really good. How close are you guys? Not just you and Brian, but the whole staff, because you guys got to travel so much together. Are you guys pretty close, or does everybody kind of just go their own direction and it all works on race day?
There's definitely clicks. Yeah, there's definitely clicks to it. But like some of the guys I work with closely, like especially my producer with the USAC stuff, and the guys I ride in the merch trailer with, like we all work together very well, and we stay fairly close too. And I wouldn't say we're all on top of each other, during the week. Like this is kind of like one of our few times a year, like where I'm home like 5 days this week that we're recording. So it kind of worked out that you reached out this week. But at the end of the day too, we're just like the rest of the racing family. Like we're all a big family. If one guy ahead in the truck on the highway has a flat tire, obviously we'll stop. And I remember one night too, Chris Kearns, who used to promote Macon, does a lot of stuff with USAC. I think he still does the Wild West Shootout deal in Arizona with late models. I remember I think it was on his like toy hauler or something out of Macon, was probably like 10 miles ahead of us, and he blew a tire and he was stopped, and it got relayed to us somehow. We had like the whole USAC fleet like parked behind him helping him change his tire, and Brian too. Brian is one of my favorite people just to be around when something like that happens, because like I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. He's kind of like that dad that has everything. He is a dad that has everything. So it's not really, I don't have to say it very nicely. But Brian, it'll be like the most random things you're looking for. Like I'm looking for a very, very specific screwdriver. Brian's like, well, which brand do you want? Like he's one of those guys.
Yeah, I've got it in my trunk.
Yeah, literally, that's exactly how he rolls. So it's, like I said, I don't like being in those situations, but if there's somebody I like being with, it's Brian Holbert in that situation. And we all take care of each other in our own ways, and I'm still definitely the run of the litter a little bit. I have my life the least amount of figured out compared to those guys, so they're good for that too.
Well, so that's where, for Brian's sake, he's been on the road for 20 years now, so he kind of knows, hey, stuff's gonna happen, and we need to almost be a little prepared. Where you're just like, man, I hope these guys got it covered because I'm just, I'm watching Flo trying to see what else happened at the high limit race while we're getting to the next one.
Yeah, when something bad goes happen, I'm not usually the guy you come find. You know what I mean?
So you're no problem solver, huh?
I am to an extent, but I don't have necessarily the tools to do it, I think is what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, we're sitting in a race shop. What are you talking about? You don't have the tools. You got plenty of tools.
Yeah, I'm not very mechanically inclined to. That's all my dad. Like, even when I had my own I shouldn't say had my own race cars, raced for the car owner.
Yeah.
No, I was not very good at a lot of things. I could change tires, and when he was helping out a sprint car team in California, like I could do stagger and stuff like that, but it wasn't any like crazy stuff I could do.
So you're not going to cut nothing in two and weld it back together?
I was struggling with a poster board from Walmart today. I don't think I'm really the guy that needs to like come out there guns a-blazing with all the tools in the world. I'll leave that to Brian. He's good at that.
So when you go down to the crash scene and you see Robert Blue's front axle knocked out, you're not like, "Hey, Robert, I'm going to help you." You're just like, "Damn, I got to ask him about it." And he's going to be so mad.
It's going on the record, unfortunately. What happened, Robert?
I know we kind of joke about that, but I know you get put in some tough situations sometimes, and understandably so, because the guys are upset. I mean, these guys are, first off, they're racing on for pennies on dollars what they should be, because non-wing sprint car racing is the most, exciting form of racing.
1,000% it is.
It's the most exciting. So if there's going to be a $100,000 win sprint car race, in my opinion, it needs to be non-wing sprint cars. But that's a whole other subject. That's something I could go on a soapbox for that for about an hour. So we won't do that. But when you get in those situations, one thing that I like about you is you kind of got don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost kind of like the dorky look. We're like, "Okay, I'm sorry, but I got to ask this."
That's the story of my career. Absolutely, it is.
Yeah. So I don't think they kind of unload on you like they really want to, because you can tell that they get out sometimes and they really want to just drop F-bombs and shit on you, and then you're not on you, but just on the situation, and then you're kind of like, "Okay, I gotta ask it." You put the mic in their face. Has there been times where you've walked to the crash scene and been like, "Oh my gosh"?
I mean, yeah, there's a few times too, and I will say this about our USAC guys too. They are incredibly nice to the media. So there's a few guys too that I know that just don't want to talk after a crash. Like CJ Leary and I, and again, a very respectful conversation. Just, "Hey, don't talk to me." I said, "That's fine, I can do that." And then but
that's kind of my job.
Yeah, it is to an extent, but I'm not there to encroach on what's the right way to say this? I'm not there to make gain out of their bad situation, if that makes sense. So the guys that just say no, like Robert a few weeks ago, I forget where it was at, but he crashed and say, "You want to talk?" He said no. I said, "Okay, that's fine." So talk about what's broken on the race car or whatnot too. Like there's some broadcasts I watch where I could tell they don't even ask. I'm like, man, you're gonna get so much of a worse experience than if you just took the 2 or 3 seconds to ask them. Yeah, I mean, to go back to the dorky thing too, like the Damian Gardner deal, that was 1,000% dorkiness. I was like maybe it was like 17, somewhere in there. Yeah, somewhere in there. And the dorkiness definitely showed through as Damian is just berating Brody Roa from 20 feet away on a stage. That was interesting. So
and you're just looking like, can somebody come save me?
Yeah, or the Robert Ballou comment towards Cale Drick that he's going to be flipping burgers at Whataburger here down the line. Like, it was just like, all right. But again, some of those
Back
guys.
to you, Brian.
Yeah, again, some of those guys, you kind of know what to expect. Robert's always going to drop a funny one-liner too. It's funny too, like I haven't been around. I'm not going to claim to be around for 20 years, but even in the time I've been around, you learn a lot of these tendencies, maybe year 2, year 3. So sometimes you just know what to expect.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I am. Like I said, I coach high school basketball, so you kind of know what kids, parents that's going to approach you and which ones are going to say, "Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow." So it's kind of like the same deal. You just kind of know what you're getting into, but it's still, you have a job to do, and and the production's sending, "All right, Drake, we're sending it down to you," and you're like, "Well, I don't really know if you need to."
There's occasionally a few of those, but we do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think honestly, USAC's coverage is probably the best streaming coverage there is. Honestly, I watch everything: Flo, Dirt Vision, Racing Dirt, Start to Finish. I watch it all. So, but I think the USAC guys, all you guys together, you guys just kind of, it's like everybody wants to be there. And it doesn't look, now, it may not be that way off camera, but on camera, you guys are doing a hell of a job of convincing everybody that, hey, we're the greatest thing in town and you guys need to watch this.
I think we are the greatest thing in town 9 out of 10 times too. And the nice thing about working in USAC is you don't really have to pump up the racing. The racing's usually does about 95% of the work, which is both. Sometimes I like the challenge, but a lot of days, like day 7 of sprint week with 1,000% humidity and 100-degree weather. Sometimes I like the racing to be good because it makes me not have to think as hard, which is nice.
Yeah, and you are right. The racing does take care of itself, but I think a lot of that has to do also not with just the race cars, but USAC kind of knows. I don't know who makes the schedule, but they kind of know where and what they need to do. Like they got the schedule laid out. Like, well, I mean, sprint week's obviously awesome, but you guys just come off some big tracks. So guess what? Now we've got 2 bull rings coming right back up. So you keep it fresh enough that it's not like, all right, 10 half miles in a row. And you guys got a lot of smaller teams that they can't run 10 half miles in a row. They're doing their best to get to where they're at because the economics of sprint car racing. 2 questions here. Midget racing, USAC's always been the king of the midgets. Do you see midget racing thriving as much as non-wing sprint car racing going forwards? Because the cost is so astronomical, and each year we lose another 2 or 3. We lose another 2 or 3. Or do you think it's just something we're going in phases and it's going to pop back up?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been around, USAC for 20 years, but, you can always go back and look at history too. I think, it's interesting to me because, like I said, I go to Australia. I do a midget week every year. And I mean this as an awesome thing too with Pro Speed Car Week. It's kind of like midget racing 15 years ago over there. Like, there's so many different things going on. Like, I think the biggest team was 2 cars we had that week that, did the whole thing. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that. I would like to see midget racing thrive. It kind of goes in waves with the big events. Like, you look at BC 39, that gets a lot of cars, and Chili Bowl is. I don't have to. You don't gotta. I don't have to explain Chili Bowl. Yeah, Chili Bowl is, and like midget week, we usually get a good amount of cars at a lot of places. So. I'm not sure. The other thing too is, like, especially if you're here in Indiana, like, non-wing sprint car racing is king.
Oh yeah.
I mean, or even when the All Stars or the Outlaws or High Limit come to town, it's easy for me to say because I don't pay for anything, but you can always bolt a wing on and go at it with those guys too. Like, a lot of our, I shouldn't say a lot, but quite a few of our locals do that too around Indiana. So I think that's part of it too. So, like I said, I'm not really a car owner. I really can't. I don't spend any real money going racing. So.
Yeah, hell, they actually give you money.
They do.
Yeah.
It's
what
nice.
What are those guys thinking?
I don't know.
Well, here's I've got a take on it, and I could be totally wrong, but midget racing produces on really small racetracks, and I think the bigger the tracks are, the more we lose midget racing. I don't think. I mean, I know like Belleville's awesome, and I'm not knocking on any of that. But let's keep midgets on quarter miles and we'll be okay. And 5th miles, 6th miles. I mean, let's go to Coles County. I mean, let's do all that. Those racetracks are there. I know it's not y'all's deal, but the event they had at Millbridge the last couple of years. I mean, I think that's what midget racing needs. Like, midget racing is rough and tumble. We're gonna throw elbows. Well, let's throw elbows on little tracks. So the danger factor is not there. And plus, we can get back to. I know you say you're not real mechanically inclined, but everybody doesn't need a $60,000 engine. we can have $10,000 and $15,000 engines.
I think we could all agree that we don't want to see that, because if we don't have that, we got more race cars. But we're going to Eldora. Like, I like high speed midget racetracks. I know it's not for everybody, but I'm kind of a high speed big stakes racetrack guy. Like, that's what I enjoy watching. So. I think as long as we keep them at, like Eldora and places like that too, I think it could work. But like I said, the Keith Coonses and the Chad Boats of the world know way more about that than I will ever know.
Yeah, well, no, you don't see. This is where you're being young again. I'm going to help you out. You don't ever, especially on a big major podcast like this. Yeah, right. Okay. But especially, don't ever sell yourself short, man. Just always answer with for us, and we're good. Everybody says that.
The bosses might be listening, so I got to keep them happy.
Yeah, that's exactly. So, non-wing sprint car racing here in Indiana. First off, I like what you said. You said you don't know how Midwestern you are, but you said non-wing sprint car racing. You didn't say wingless. So you're Midwestern now.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know. California, you done left California, because if you would have said wingless.
Yeah, well, it's funny there too, because you got the spec sprint deal, which has been huge for probably the last 20 or so years. That's more or less what we consider wingless in like Australia too. Like their wingless scene is big, but it's not 410 or 360, so they call them wingless. So when you say wingless sprint cars over in California or Australia, like people think, oh man, those things are slow. They don't. Not to say that those race cars are slow too, but to the wing 410 sprint car community, it has a different meaning. So I try to always say non-wing, or I just say sprint car.
Yeah, that's me. That's when I got buddies that don't know what sprint cars are, and I was like, "Where are you going?" I'm going to watch sprint cars. Oh, like with the wings? I'm like, no.
I can't really talk because I grew up wing racing. I still love wing racing, so I'm just a race car fan. Like I don't love it, but I love seeing the thought process of debates between wing sprint cars, non-wing sprint cars, late models. This I'm like, it's a race car. It's cool.
Well, that's I know. You said you love racing. You have to go. One event you have to go to that has nothing to do with wings or non-wings. And I know with your schedule it's really hard, but you have to go one time in your life. You need to go to the IMCA Super Nationals in Boone, Iowa, and just experience how in the hell they make that work. That is the craziest event. The Chili Bowl is my favorite event, but the IMCA Super Nationals is the most head-scratching. How in the hell do they make this work? And it works. I mean, it runs to perfection. But
it looks insane. I want to go see it at some point.
Oh, it is. My first time there, we parked at Walmart, which is like a 3/4 of a mile down the road, because I thought that's where we parked, because there's race car trailers. They're parking trailers off the property, on Walmart's property. And I'm like, oh, hell, here's the racetrack. So I pull in, I'm like, this is Walmart. And we had to walk like a mile, because you couldn't even park on the property, because on the property was campers in the back and trailers in the rest of the property. It's crazy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those events you have to go to. I tell everybody, you have to go to the World 100. You have to go to the Kings Royal. You have to do Sprint Week one time. You have to do all Sprint Week. You have to do the Chili Bowl. But the Super Nationals, you need to check it out one time. Being a racing geek, you'll love it. When you have off nights, and when you said this is a good week for me to reach out to you, I kind of watched the schedule. I kind of figured if he's going to be home, it's going to be this week.
Oh, that's good for you. That's good sleuthing right there.
Yeah, I was like, if he's going to be home, it's going to be this week. So I got to reach out this week, because I don't know how much you go back to California. Like when you go to the West Coast swing, do you go out and stay with family, or do you just travel with the crew? What exactly do you do?
So the Western swing, I'll tell you what I did last year, because it got altered pretty quickly. So again, I'm going to try to make a really long story as short as I can.
Hey, I can edit out whatever we need.
Okay, perfect. Just edit out the ums and uhs. So
that podcast geeks back and forth, that's usually 6 minutes an episode.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000% it is. So last year we're driving down to Meeker for the last sprint car show, because it was at Meeker last year, which was a lot of fun. I hope that racetrack comes back really, really soon. That's such a fun place to go to. But I didn't really have anything planned before the midget stuff in California, so we're pedaling on down to Meeker, and I get a call from Tony Jones. I'm like, oh boy, what could this be about? Of course, Tony Jones, super successful driver out in California, currently runs the Avante Windows and Doors USAC CRA Sprint Car Series. So he calls me, says, hey, we're doing the Western. We got a deal where it's on Flo. We want a pit reporter for it. Figured we'd call you. So I said, well, yeah, let's do it. So kind of had to coordinate with USAC National a little bit. So got everything good to go for Western World. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to go all the way out to Arizona. Like I'd fly to Arizona, do 2 days of racing, and come back, and then have to get in a truck and drive to California, which I don't, like I said, I don't drive the truck, so I really don't need to come back the way I viewed it. And Red Bluff Outlaws, which is the birthplace of the outlaw carts in California, I knew they had been experimenting with some Sunday races. So I said, man, I'm going to check the schedule. So I'm literally at Meeker, like putting together my whole Western swing in about 15 minutes.
You're like, I've got this figured out. Where am I
Yes.
going? I have no clue.
Yeah, exactly. And wouldn't you know it, Red Bluff was racing the Sunday after Western World. I said, well, I know who can give me a ride from the airport. I can make it to the airport.
Yeah.
And I can make it. They have 11 a.m. hot laps because they have always like 200 or 300 cars a week. And so I said, man, I think I can make it by hot laps. So, put the whole Western World deal together. They're like, okay, what do you want to do coming on? I said, I'm going to California. And so got with everybody at Red Bluff and put a deal together to announce that race the day after. Dean Mills and I were the only two Flo Racing production people there. So he was up top shooting. I was down below pit reporting on the whole deal. And Dean and I, we load up all the Flo stuff. It was a borrowed kit. So we wait for the guy that's shipping it back to Austin.
Yeah.
We go to the hotel. It's like 4 minutes down the road. We stay there for like 40 minutes. We got our own separate rooms, so we both shower, take a quick nap. Dean drives like probably the first hour, and then I get in and I drive like at least 2.5 hours. We get to a point outside of Phoenix, stop for gas to fill up the rental car. Dean drives us in. I get on a plane. I was planning on sleeping. I ran into one of my friends who she was out visiting friends in Arizona there in college there. So I didn't get any sleep. And flew all the way to Sacramento. Got in my buddy's car, which I was a little worried. This dude is like one of my best friends of all time. But he's one of those guys that's not always on time. It's like, man, I might miss hot laps if he's like not here in time. He was there, like, it was one of those perfect deals too. Like my bag was second off the carousel, pulled off, jumped in his car, took a nap as we were going down the road. They raced the night before, so like I watched the highlights. So I was like,
So you know who did what?
yeah. So I wasn't like a total idiot walking in the place. And did the race from like 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I stayed out there, did another race there the next weekend, and then And then Placerville got rained out, and Cycleland had a flat track motorcycle race, an outlaw kart race going on at the same time. So I did that. So I don't really know what the plan is. I'm still kind of...
I mean, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm still sleuthing it out a little bit, but I think I have a plan 95% in place, just kind of waiting on one thing to work out. So the West Coast swing for me is really going to start in like middle of October this year. Just because we're doing races in Texas and Kansas on the way out to Arizona. Doing Arizona... I'm pretty sure. I am sure Red Bluff is still racing the day after Westworld. So there's a good chance I might boogie over to Red Bluff, and then still kind of working out in between there and the start of the national deal at Placerville. But it's a lot. Like it's funny too to me because everybody in Indy, like their season's winding down right about now. Mine's kickstarting because like I got
it's about to get real.
Yeah, and then like right after that, I come home and like I'm home for a few days. I got a wedding to go to, and then I got PRI show, and then got like a week off to do like Christmassy stuff, and I leave Christmas Eve to go overseas again. So it's all going on right about now.
Well, that's crazy, but man, like I said, that's living the rock star life.
Yeah,
that's
something like that.
Well, that's living the rock star race car life. There's a lot of people, they see that, they see you here, see you there, but they don't really know what goes into it. Like the sleepless nights, and there's a lot more. I know you're happy-go-lucky. You're like, that's not that bad. I was 20 going to, been to over 300 racetracks. Like I know it's not that bad, but there is some nights where you're just like, damn, I could sleep right here on this floor and be perfectly fine.
I've slept in the USAC operations hauler before hot laps one time. Now, granted, I was like thought I was dying at Belleville. Like it was one of those days. It was a great week up until then. I had my audition with IndyCar Radio. Went amazing, like way better than I could have asked for. So I was pumped. Went down to Belleville. I wasn't feeling so great, but like, I'll just sleep it off. Like that's kind of how I work, for better or for worse. Like I usually sleep stuff off like 3 days top is the most amount of time I'm sick. And I woke up the next morning. I'm like, let's go. And it was so cold and so dry. Like it all like hit me like a freight train. Yeah. Again, I'm like, oh no. And so I set up and like did everything I needed to do pre-race. And then like I had like 10 minutes before the driver's meeting. I'm like, we got a gooseneck trailer, so I mean it's not made to sleep in, but you can.
But you can,
and I slept in there and mostly did the trick. So yeah, I mean there are a lot of sleepless nights, like sprint week. Sometimes like with the production stuff too. Like I wish I could just boogie out of there when the checker comes out and get 5 hours of sleep. But with the teardown stuff too, 9 out of 10 times, like we usually have a really good group that knows what they're doing and can take it all apart really quickly. But that's still,
So an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work.
Yeah, hour and a half worth of work too. So then you're retired on
Yeah.
top of that. Like you're tired all over again. So yeah, it like those weeks take a lot out of you. And too, like from really May, especially, you know, because like I said, I'm partially involved with the IndyCar radio stuff that goes on, especially with qualifying. And then I got all the USAC races, and then I go to the Speedway a lot of days too, because that's my happy place. So I like watching race cars go around there real fast. And yeah, it's all going on around then usually.
Do you ever get to the point where, all right, I need an off night, I need 2 or 3 days to just hang out at the house, go swimming, or is it, I got an off night, for some reason USAC's off this Friday, I'm going to Bloomington, or how do you do it? Is it always go, or is it, if you get an off night, do you actually take a night off?
Yeah, I mean, it's a yes and no answer is the probably easiest way to sum it up. Like this week, I'm really excited to kind of just relax, going, you know, into Circle City, Hobstadt, and then we got Four Crown, which is a lot, and you know, especially with an extra day too, you don't know what that's going to be like yet because it's the first year they've ever done that. So this week I don't mind. A lot of weeks I usually try to go somewhere. Like we got a lot of great local tracks around here, so.
But yeah, I've been trying to get my wife to move to Indianapolis forever. She won't do it.
So it's cool. You got to tell her it's the best.
Well, no, trust me, I tell her.
So where I'm at in Brownsburg is literally Racetown, USA. Like I've been to Charlotte a few times. I think we might beat out Charlotte for how much racing we got here. Like I think we have everything but a NASCAR team here. Like there's that much racing. So, but to answer your question, yes, I like doing a lot of fun stuff on off nights. Like I'll give you another crazy bonkers Drake York story that will make you question if I belong in an asylum or not. So we're racing Springfield, and for those that don't know, Springfield, one of the 2 dirt miles, really cool race, but it's one of those races that like make you question your sanity when you're at the racetrack at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Especially to set up to, like, I remember it's ungodly hot. Never been, again, from California. I'm used to 115 race days, and I'm like, this is fine. Yeah. And yeah, like never experienced anything this hot in my life. But anyways, yeah, that's one of those races you got to be there at like 7 in the morning, and then, you know, your practice is like at 9, and then qualifying's like at 10:30, and then you start the race at like 1. So you're there for a while, but it's all during the day too. Well, like I said, I grew up in wing racing too. I love wing racing. I think it's great. Like I said, I'm a race car person. I just like race cars, so race cars are great. So I saw the All-Stars were going to be at Bloomington Friday night before Springfield. And I said, man, that would be fun. But like I kind of hem and hawed about it for a few weeks. And then on the back end of that weekend too, IRA was at Angel Park. Well, I was going to miss Angel Park to do Calistoga and Petaluma. And Angel Park is like one of my top 5 favorite racetracks, but like Calistoga is my favorite dirt track. And especially with it being the revival and getting the chance to work with a lot of my heroes I grew up listening to in California, and the Hunt family, who I have immense respect for too. I wasn't going to pass up on that opportunity. So I was really gutted about Angel Park, but I saw they had an IRA race. I have a friend that lives about 45 minutes away from the racetrack, and it was Corn Fest too, which didn't get to go this year, spoiler alert, but it was one of those deals like, man, like you should just go, and the race cars are a bonus. I said, bet. So Jake Croxton, who's our scorer with USAC, he's really good at talking me into some situations I really don't want to do. So he talked to me, he wore me down finally to go to Bloomington on that Friday before. And it was one of those nights too where, like, you know, the show was just a bit slow.
Oh yeah,
a little bit slower than what we were hoping.
I was there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you know, I don't have to explain.
Yeah, we had 4 or 5 flips. It took a little longer.
Yeah, it's fine. It happens. But when you have to be at another track at another state the next day at 7 in the morning, you're watching your phone more than the racetrack. Yeah. So we eventually decided that we were going to stay for the whole wing race, which it was cool. I'm glad I got to check that off the bucket list. And thankfully, you know, he's from Illinois, so he kind of knows these back roads and stuff like that. Boy, we made up some time. Like, speed's not legal in the lower 48. Yeah. About murdered a raccoon family. That was interesting. Literally, like, they ran in front. It was like 5 or 6 raccoons. It was like 2 parents and like 4 little babies. They ran like perfectly in between his truck. My car would have exploded had it hit them. So that worked out. Did Springfield. Like, we actually made it to the hotel when we wanted to, despite leaving Bloomington late. Yeah, it was great. Like, it was all you could ask for. Springfield was a little hot, a little toasty. And then I was driving my friend's house too. And so I did that drive too. That was like 4.5 hours again from Springfield to Angel Park. And we were sitting around watching the high limit race, and it started downpour. I'm like, we're 45 minutes away. We'll be fine. Like, there was no weather forecasted at Angel Park. I wake up about 9. My friend down the road that actually like lives in Sun Prairie texts me like, hey, they canceled. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
so I look, it's like 3 inches of rain. So to answer your question, I like doing crazy stuff in my off time. Like our USAC guys too, like the core group of guys I hang out with, we're all IndyCar fans. So we went to Milwaukee right after Kokomo. That we did like 2 hours at night and 2 hours in the morning to go watch an IndyCar race. So when we're not racing, I'm not very good at sitting around. Like my whole life revolves around racing. Like I got iRacing recently. Like I should say recently. It was like beginning of this year. But one of the worst things to happen to me because now like it's really racing all the time. And you know, I like collecting stuff. Like I have a pretty cool die-cast collection. Like I collect trading cards now, and I got all sorts of cool stuff. So it's like literally my whole life. I don't take any days off.
Well, that's good. But now that I know that you're not just all professional all the time, hell, I'm gonna shoot you a message because I am the type of guy that when I was 16 years old, I met Brownstown, Indiana for the Indiana Icebreaker. A buddy of mine's in high school with me, and you know they sell racing newspapers, and he says. We're looking through the racing newspaper. We're watching the late models. He goes, they're racing at Gadsden, Alabama tomorrow on Sunday. He goes, they start at noon. We should go. I said, okay. That was all it said. I woke him up on the other side of Huntsville. I was like, hey, Joe, man, you got to drive just a little bit. He's like, where are we at? I said, Alabama. He goes, my mom's going to kill me. I said, man, last I heard we was going to Alabama.
Well, yeah,
we're like 2 hours.
Were all in.
Yeah, I'm sold. Like, I'm the type of dude that says, hey, Drake, you want me to swing by and get you? Because like my buddy Kurt that does the show with, like, you know, I'll call him like, hey, Flash. He's like, what's up? I'm like, you want to go to Circle City? He's like, you sure? What time are you leaving? I'm like, I'm getting off your exit now. One of those type deals. Like, I'm going to swing by and get you. So, trust me, I get it.
I do have another story, though, in that vein that you probably would like. Though.
Right.
So it was kind of a weird crossover deal because USAC was in Wisconsin and IRA, which is based in Wisconsin, was racing in Indiana. So, like, we were passing haulers left and right. I'll never forget. So we go down there Thursday night, I want to say, to go race the Crown Cars at Madison, because that's back when we did that. I miss that racetrack. That place is so fun. And then we were going to race Wilmot and Angel Park the next 2 days after that. So we go out, do the Crown race, goes off without a hitch. We kind of knew a little bit of rain was coming, but I didn't think it was going to be like rain out at 8 a.m. bad. They canceled the whole weekend the day after the Crown race at like 8 in the morning. I'm like, God, what do I do now? And then I remember seeing on social media too that IRA was not only in Indiana because, you know, kind of forget about it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you just get lost in whatever race you're doing. So sometimes the outside world doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, you just, I mean, there's so much going on. You can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember too that their pit reporter had to stay home. So they didn't have a pit reporter. And I'm good friends with Lauren Kelly, the IRA announcer. And so I call him in my hotel lobby as I'm waiting to leave. I said, you guys still without a pit reporter? He's like, yeah. You still racing Hopstad tonight? Yeah. Great. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. At first, when I called him, I wanted to do Terre Haute the next day.
Yeah.
I said, that's doable. Like, that is doable. I'm like, Hopstad's hard to do when I plan to do Hopstad.
Yeah.
And so him and eventually all the IRA staff wore me down. And like I said, I ride with the USAC merchandise show. We're going back and forth, you know, on the phone while I'm getting driven from Wisconsin back to our shop in Indianapolis where my car is. So about the time I got to Indiana, I said, all right, I'll do Hopstad tonight.
Yeah.
I said, I can't promise when I will be there, but I am going to make Hopstad tonight. Yeah. If I can make it by the heat races, we're golden. So we get back to Indy. I've literally like get in my car and just take off down the road. Like it was nice too, because I basically wore the same polos and everything because it's on Flo.
Flo, yeah.
It was nice to do that. And so, yeah, I get in my car. And like I said, Hopstad's a little hard when I plan to do it. Hopstad from where our shop is in Indy is at least 3.5 hours.
So do you go down through 60? You take 69 now, or do you go down to 41?
I barely know my own address, so I'm not really the person to ask about that.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm hauling down to Hopstad too, and it took me. I'll never forget. I stopped for gas in Bloomington. It took me this weird way through Hopstad. Like it was just never been there before, never been there since. Yeah. But it took me this really weird way down through Hopstad, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, oh my God, I might make hot laps. Like, this is awesome. And yeah, foot through the floorboard type stuff again. And
so you're not a map reader then?
No, I go
just put it in your phone and go on with it.
Well, I'll never forget too. So I make it to Hobstad and I hear cars on the track for engine heat. I'm like, we're in.
Yeah.
But I was wearing like a dry fit shirt and Nike basketball shorts because that's just what I wear when we're riding the truck. And so I can't go out like this. So, hop in the back seat, start changing. Some guy comes by and like I don't know how he recognized who I was.
That's because you're famous, man.
I'm like down in my skimpies over here in the back seat of a 2008 bright maroon Nissan Versa. And he's like, Drake York, what are you doing here? I said, I'm kind of changing right now.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm kind of busy.
It was like that guy's probably listening to this thing. I'm a total a-hole, but
it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
If you only got one person to dislike you after doing all this for these years, you're doing good, man.
It was great. Like I made it down 4 hot laps. It was incredible, and I did Terre Haute the next day, which was much easier by comparison because I didn't have to drive from Wisconsin that morning. So yeah. If you can't tell, I do a lot of crazy things to go work in races, which I know a lot of people that work the type of schedule I do would just much rather stay home. But like I said, I love what I do. I love, working with, my friends at other series and or their other organizations and stuff like that. So anything I can do to make it happen, 9 out of 10 times, I'll probably do it.
So that's the man right there. The man, the myth, the legend, Drake York. Non-wing worldwide, that's gone to the side. But the crazy travels to make it happen that's not going anywhere anytime soon. We really appreciate you coming on, man. We're gonna have to do this again. We'll have to. Well, your wintertime, you're busy, so let's say
if you come to Australia, you might be able to find me.
Well, I was just thinking, like, I'm just booking it right now. Like, I was thinking maybe Speed Car Week or something.
Yeah, Pro Speed Car Week is a lot of fun too. Classic is a lot of fun. I had the opportunity to work that race last year, and that's it's kind of like SmackDown in the vein that it's a party, but except the racing's all in town. So you just go to bars and stuff too. It's a lot of fun. It was great when I went over there the first time, actually the last 2 times, because I wasn't 21 yet. And over there, their age to get into anything's 18. So I just kind of did whatever I want. But yeah, Pro Speed Car Week's a blast. Classic Week's a blast. If you can make it over there, it's worth the travel. I guarantee it. Well,
follow him on all of his social medias. I'll tag it out when we put the show out. But he's active on social media. He lets you know where he's going. And he's not quite a dork as you think he is. He's actually a pretty cool kid. But thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, Flash. That was Drake York from Flo Sports and USAC Racing. Drake is a pretty cool kid, man. Had a fun time up there hanging out with Drake and just talking racing, man. He's one of those kids that's got the gift of gab. He can talk some racing, and his family he's kind of been working towards this his whole life. Been announcing since he was 5 years old, basically.
Yeah, that's cool.
Announced his first race was a 410 wing sprint car race at Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much cooler than that.
No.
It does not get much cooler than that.
Yeah.
He was the one holding the microphone for the famous "You're gonna go back and flip burgers at Whataburger" segment. Said he had his dome all over TV. Everybody sharing that, retweeting that. But yeah, Drake York, man, cool kid, living the rock star life. Traveling the country on somebody else's dime, getting paid to go to the races. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't know that he, before this interview, he does 90% of the technical setup, pulls all the cables, gets the cameras ready, does all the mic checks, and then he's got to do all the teardown afterwards.
Yeah.
So he said
his job ain't over when the race is over.
No, and a lot of the thing is, so you got USAC and you got 4 other divisions. Half of the people from the USAC stuff's already on the road because he's got to stay till the other divisions are done,
right,
and then get everything tore down and everything. So
yeah,
Drake York though, man, good kid. Follow him on all of his social medias. He does a great insight on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. He does Drake York's one to watch, and talks about all the betting odds. He was a joy to work with, so accommodating, and one thing about not only Drake, but all these people. We're coming up. Next year will be our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, next week. Yeah,
yeah.
Shit. Yeah, next year. Yeah, next year will be our 2-year anniversary this time. But we're gonna do something a little bit special for next week's show. Let's put it this way: if you're an old head like us,
yeah,
and you went and watched some sprint car racing back in the day, we have something really cool coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool. But
what's one of my favorite interviews?
So we had some cool stuff coming up. So, but yeah, but like with Drake and everybody that we've gone on the road and done this stuff with, it's been a pleasure. Everybody's accommodating. It's good to see guys want to be involved with a show like ours because I mean we're not bringing any money to the table.
No,
we're not making any money. None of that. We're just doing it for the love of the sport and everybody. I only feel like we interviewed one person that was kind of a little, maybe had something going on that day.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been great and great to work with. So,
at 52 weeks, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's batting pretty good.
Yeah.
Now something that we should have done that I didn't, we may start from now on. We need to log our miles on all these interviews and stuff. Because, I mean, we've probably hit 50,000 miles this year.
Yeah, I'd say close to it.
Yeah, I mean,
but I know we have with the racing with the series.
With the series and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wish we kind of would have done that and wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. And we might try to put out something on Facebook midweek, sometimes to let you know who's going to be on the show. Ahead of time. So.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming up. Honestly, we got a lot of cool ideas. Yeah. But we just don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So,
wintertime we might be able to work on a little bit of that stuff.
Yeah. When wintertime gets here, we may be able to try to iron some stuff out because we've got some cool stuff coming.
We didn't even know if we was going to be doing this 2 weeks or not. So we done made it almost 52. So
yeah, that's crazy. We almost hit Flash's number.
Yeah.
So we haven't been doing it 4 years or nothing, 4 or 5 years. But we're learning. We're learning along the way. We're
having a lot of fun.
Having a lot of fun. We're not dirt nerds. We're not them yet. But
those guys are cool.
Yeah, we're doing all right though for a few guys that could.
Yeah.
So this week's Racetrack Spotlight, we're going to start off with that. Brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering. Is the Brownstown Bull Ring. Friday night, Brownstown Bull Ring has the Mars Super Late models. They run modifieds, B mods. $10,000 to win at the Brownstown Bull Ring. Quarter mile high bank fairgrounds racetrack right there in Brownstown, Illinois, at the Fayette County Fairgrounds. Flash, a little, I guess, tidbit.
Yeah.
Brownstown Bull Ring is where the first time I had the country bob sauce on anything.
Oh yeah.
It was some 20 years ago. Went to a 5,000 win modified race. But by the way, let me throw these names out there. That night that I went to the Brownstown Bull Ring for the first time, some guy named Jeff Leka was trading slide jobs with some guy named Mike Harrison.
Yeah.
But Brownstown Bull Ring is a phenomenal racetrack. Have you been to the
Brownstown? No, I haven't been there yet. It's on my list to go to.
Okay, it races really good. It's wide.
I mean, I've seen it a bunch on TV, but I've never actually been there.
So it's wide, really, really fast. But it's got short straightaways, so you kind of just sit as you hit the straightaway. You set up for the slider.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Mike Harrison style racetrack. Let's just put it that way. But Brownstown Bull Ring. My buddy Robert told me because they put some new bleachers and stuff in. He said, "Hey," because Robert is not a Fairbury hater, but he just loves Southern Illinois, where he's from.
Yeah.
And he told me, I guess about a month ago, next time you talk about Fairbury Shires at the racetrack, let them know the Brownstown Bull Ring's got shires at their track too.
Oh yeah.
So Brownstown Bull Ring got shires at the racetrack. Pretty neat racetrack, and they always give away cool trophies.
Oh yeah.
They got they're made with the bull busting through the stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Battle of the Bull Ring and stuff. The food of choice for me at Brownstown Bull Ring was the grilled ribeye sandwich with, I said before mentioned, country bob sauce.
Yeah.
Actually, when I had that sauce, I ate 4 ribeyes that night.
Yeah.
It was a long night. It wasn't like a 2-hour race for me.
Right.
They do a good job now getting guys out there, but the first time I went, I think there was 79 mods. Did single car qualifying.
Yeah.
It was a late night.
Yeah.
So, but first time I had the country bob sauce, and I said, you know what? I gotta find this stuff. And they didn't sell it right here at the time.
Right.
But I found some in Evansville on the way back home, and then now we got it everywhere, every store. That was back in the day where we used to have to get out the book to go look at the racetrack.
Right. Yeah.
Had to use something called a map. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Brownstown Bull Ring, this week's racetrack spotlight. Wednesday night, high limit sprint cars are at Lawrenceburg Speedway for the makeup race early in the year. It got rained out before they hit Eldora Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Four Crown Nationals. Another event, if you've been wanting to go to Eldora and you didn't know, man, do I want to see the sprint cars? Do I want to see the late models?
Yeah.
The Four Crown Nationals, you don't get any stock cars anymore. They used to have late models. Back when Jack Hewitt did it,
Yeah.
you had to have late models or modifieds. But Four Crown Nationals, USAC Sprints, Midgets, Silver Crown, and then the high limit 410 wing sprint cars. 4 totally different style disciplines,
Right.
all running the same week. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, the weather's going to be nice, check out Eldora for the high limit nationals. Friday night flash, we go to the racetrack or go do what you want to do, come back home about 8 o'clock and turn on your TV because you're saying, you know, I want to find something to watch. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars are at Tulare Thunderbowl in Tulare, California.
Yeah.
So there will be something to watch Friday evening, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've got the stuff going on High Limit. I know we got the Eldora stuff, but they'll be done about 10.
Yeah.
And that's West Coast. That's when they're getting started.
Yeah.
So you can kick back at the house and flip between Flo and Dirt Vision, or put them on multiple TVs and have yourself a night of sprint cars Friday night if you want.
Yeah.
Saturday, if you're looking for something a little more closer to hit the road to, Lincoln Park Speedway has 410 non-wing sprint cars, and the D2 midgets that we just talked about will be at Lincoln Park Speedway in Pumpkinville Saturday night. Had 28 cars at Circle City last Friday. I promise you, the midgets at Pumpkinville is worth price of admission.
Yeah.
Flash and I seen some young kid named Kyle Larson outrun some kid named Brian Clausen there. Probably one of the best races that I've ever been to.
Oh yeah.
In my life.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Mine too.
Yeah, it was.
That's when Clarkson got. I said, "This kid's gonna be a superstar."
Yeah, and then everybody's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Come to find out, he may be the greatest to ever do any type of motorsports.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so Lincoln Park's got that going on Saturday. Saturday night, Paragon, the International Super Speedway, has the Huntley Hoosier 305 wing sprint cars in the house. 410 non-wing ticket to Tulsa.
Yeah.
I think it's that final event. Midwest throwback sprints, the vintage, and the All-Star TQ midgets. So we just seen the TQs the other night.
Yeah.
Winding those TQs up at Paragon, I don't know. There's going to be rods landing in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But all open wheel event. But the Huntley 305 wing sprint car series had 30 cars at Pumpkinville this Saturday night. Got rained out. Major car count in the series. Ultra competitive racing, and they will be at Paragon Saturday night. Lucas Oil late models are at Knoxville Friday and Saturday for the Lucas Oil Knoxville Nationals. $75,000 to win for the Lucas Oil late model Knoxville Nationals. I think they print money off Knoxville.
Yeah.
They got a tree in the infield. They just print that stuff off.
Yeah.
Every event there is major paying events.
Yep.
But, you know, if you want to check out a Crown Jewel event, go check out that. The Ultimate Heart of America crate late models has the Damn Yankee at the Richmond Raceway. $10,000 to win for our friends in southeastern Kentucky. You can check out Richmond Raceway's $10,000 to win. Damn Yankee Classic. Saturday night, Peoria has the Mars Late Model Series. Peoria for $5,000 to win. So we got late models in the south, modifieds and late models in the west, sprint cars in Indiana, sprint cars in Ohio. So there's plenty to do this week if you want to get out and go to the races. We say this each and every week: support a local racetrack. Kind of seems like it's a common thread now.
Yeah.
But you know, support a local racetrack. Doesn't have to be your local racetrack, because the place where you go, you might have an asshole as a promoter.
Yeah.
But go somewhere.
Yeah.
Support our sport. The sport that we love, and word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. So thank you to everybody who's reached out and said next week will be our anniversary show, and we're gonna reflect, do a little reflecting, and and we've in the last few weeks we've had some people reach out, and we always try to incorporate our our fans, into the show.
Yeah.
I've had some people reach out on a couple things that we haven't brought up yet. We was kind of saving it, for this. But yes, we really appreciate everybody that's, spreading the word, telling people about us. It's there's a lot of craziness going on in our world right now.
Yeah.
And we're glad that you're spending a couple hours a week hanging out with us, and we ain't got to talk about all the stupid shit that's going on, that we can just concentrate on what we love, racing, and try to bring light to the sport that not always has positive.
Yeah.
There's some negative in our sport.
Yeah, we try to find a positive in everything.
Yeah. So, but you got anything else?
Yeah,
Flash?
I do want to say one thing. A lot of you guys around here locally that have like Fords and something like that, you might want to keep your eye open if you ever want to try a little dirt racing. Coming up here at the end of October, I think we're going to have a race at a local racetrack that hasn't been racing much lately. So just keep that in mind so you don't winterize your cars yet.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure it's a done deal before I tell everybody.
Yeah.
So next week we'll have a lot more information. But if you ever want to try racing dirt and you haven't raced yet, it'd be a good place to play around.
See, Kurt, I thought you were dropping the thunder on us. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, hold on a second. Yeah. I didn't think we were talking about this.
Yeah.
So, there may be an event that has a little thunder in it. You know what I'm saying? So, there's some things in the works that.
And it'd be really cool if it goes down. So
Yeah, there's some things in the works that a friend of ours is. See, that might even be part of our anniversary show. We may even be able to talk about some cool shit that we did back in the day.
Yeah.
And you guys may get to do it again at the same little place.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool.
But yeah, I didn't know we were. That's why I was looking at this.
I figured I'd just throw it out there a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Just kind of a teaser. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a teaser. Okay. 'Cause I was looking.
I want to give a shout out to my nephew. He's been working hard all year trying to get this pure stock going. He's been running. He finally got the top 5. So I wasn't going to talk about him until he got top 5, but he made it. And this way I can find out if he listens to the whole show or not, too.
Yeah, B-Rad. We're going to find out if you made it to the end this week.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of making it to the end, Jeff Watson.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff Watson. You are one wheel man.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely
One-handed wheel man,
Yeah,
almost.
that's what I was going to say. We just talked about Justin Grant, but you drove the whole damn race with a broken wrist.
Yeah.
On a track that had some character cowboy up. It was fun to watch, but don't be skipping through some of our parts, okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm calling you out. I mean, damn, man. No.
So we'll see if he listens, too.
Yeah, we're doing a little test now. We're going to see if everybody gets to the end.
Yeah.
Because I was told a long time ago that long form interviews don't work.
That's right.
So I don't know, but I kind of think they are.
Yeah.
415,000 it says it does. So,
Yeah.
But anything else?
No, I think
All right, we're not going to drop any more news or anything.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week.
Yeah.
Until next time, we'll be training sliders.